The true reason 6ix9ine pleads guilty.
Rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine pleaded guilty to criminal charges, and now he's cooperating with the feds. Newly released court documents show he pleaded guilty to 9 counts, including...
We've all heard about 6ix9ine facing life in prison. Recent news stated he may be released on bail, but according to sources, that is no longer true. The 20-year-old rapper officially pleaded guilty to 9 counts of federal charges and is looking at up to 47 years behind bars. Today at Lime Report, we'll be explaining all the reasons on why this is true, so be sure to stay tuned and watch until the end. You won't want to miss a thing. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, comment keyword guilty to win our $100 Amazon gift card giveaway, and hit that notification bell to be the first to view what future content we have in store for you. Recently, the news was leaked that Tekashi 6ix9ine officially pleaded guilty to racketeering charges. As we know, Tekashi had a court date in the month of January 2019, hoping he would receive bail. Unfortunately for him, that didn't go too well. The young rapper put down $1.5 million in bond money, thinking that would do the job, but that wasn't the case. At the time of his court date, the government was shut down, and that played a big role on why he wasn't released. To Tekashi's advantage, the judge figured he'd give him another chance, considering the government shutdown being against him. So the judge set another court date up for 6ix9ine in the following month, giving him a second chance at receiving bail. Now we're hearing Tekashi opened up about the truth and admitted he was guilty. With that being said, he's no longer looking at the court date on February of 2019, and there is no hope for an upcoming bail. Tekashi is now facing 9 counts of racketeering charges and waiting for his next court date on January of 2020. A lot of people are wondering, why did he admit he was guilty after hiding it for this long? Well, after the Lime Report crew did some research, we have the answer for you. According to sources, it's very odd for Tekashi to reveal the truth now, not only because he's been hiding it for so long, but because his February court date was so close and he could have received bail. The truth is, this is very odd. The reason behind this is Tekashi had a word with his lawyers. At first, they agreed on putting down $1.5 million in bond money, but after the lawyers began to dig deeper into the case, they had come to the realization that Tekashi is basically being set up for failure. As people who are a part of his team, they advised Tekashi to admit he was guilty because it would be better for him. The reason behind this is, let's say for instance, Tekashi showed up to the court date in February hoping he'd receive bail and didn't, which was most likely going to happen. Then Tekashi would still be in the same boat he is, and on top of that, it would look even worse when proven guilty. With that being said, 6ix9ine's lawyers basically told him the opposition has enough evidence to prove him guilty, and that's just a fact that he needs to face. Yes, the decision was hard, but at the end of the day, Tekashi 6ix9ine made the best decision for his long-term life. Now, a lot of people would say, why wouldn't Tekashi just keep his mouth shut a little longer, receive the bail, and then be a free man for the meantime? Well, the reason behind that is, let's say Tekashi did do that. He shows up to his February court date, receives bail, and is a free man for a few months. In that case, yes, the positive outcome is he'd be free for a few months, but the negative is way worse. The federal court wouldn't be very happy about Tekashi when he eventually came back to court for his sentencing was proven guilty. It would look a lot worse rather than just admitting his guilt. What Tekashi did was a long-term executive decision and will do the best for him in the long run. Now Tekashi will have to sit patiently in his cell until his official court date in January of 2020. Rumors say that day won't be a good one for Tekashi. According to sources, when that day comes along, Tekashi could be sentenced to up to 47 years in prison. Now that's what you call doomsday. Tekashi 6ix9ine fans may be unhappy with the decision he made, considering they want new music, and they miss his reckless social media postings. But Tekashi is at a point in his life where he has to think about what's best for him. He's come a long way, and he needs to make decisions that will lead to him being truly a free man as soon as possible. With that being said, many believe that recently Tekashi has been working with the feds, better known as being a snitch. Rumors say that to cut his time short behind bars, he's been snitching people out, revealing the truth of everything going on to the feds. In many cases before Tekashi's, this is what happened, and it usually results in the snitch serving less time than the rest of the suspects. Yes, this will most likely ruin Tekashi 6ix9ine's reputation in the streets, but who really knows? I mean, the people he's snitching on were planning a hit on him. I guess it all equals out, and Tekashi is just trying to play this one out as smart as he can. Unfortunately, the young rapper can now add federal sitting to his many controversies. The story behind this is very interesting. Stay tuned as we explain. The reason this is all happening to 6ix9ine started when Tekashi and 5 of his associates were arrested in New York City on charges of firearms and racketeering. The arrests were a joint investigation between Homeland Security, the Justice Department's Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and the NYPD. Tekashi's bodyguard, Fahim Crippy Walter, recently fired manager Kefano Shadi Jordan and associates Ish Butler, Fugan Fubangalovic, and Jamel Mel Murder Jones were all arrested. Only months before this happened, Tekashi was sentenced to 4 years of probation and pleaded guilty to a different charge. Yes, he was going through a lot of law issues. Both guilty pleas stated that Tekashi must stay out of criminal trouble or he will face jail time. Unfortunately, that was too hard for Tekashi to do. He was charged with 6 counts and an 8-count racketeering indictment. But that wasn't all. The courtroom drama started to unfold after lawyers revealed that 2 of his former partners may have been planning a hit on him. The sad part about this is everybody on Tekashi 6ix9ine's team are people he brought up with him. They were his closest friends, the only people he could trust. Well, at least he thought he could trust. He hired his closest friends to be his managers and security guards, trying to do a good deed. I guess this proves how money can change people. They can truly turn your closest friends into your enemies. Unfortunately, that was the case for Tekashi. Not to mention, only days before him and his team were arrested, he got to see the true side of the crew he hired. He caught his former manager Shadi in the act of stealing money from him. After some time, he found out Shadi was booking shows without Tekashi 6ix9ine even knowing. Shadi would take the money and Tekashi didn't have a clue what was going on. After this happened a few times, it began to ruin Tekashi's reputation. People would buy tickets to shows Tekashi wouldn't show up to, but little did he know that the shows even existed. Well, after finding this out, Tekashi 6ix9ine fired everyone on his team. He could no longer trust the people who were closest to him. But of course, he found a way to solve that problem of his. Before getting arrested, Tekashi 6ix9ine found a girl that not only he loves, but trusts. This girl is now his current girlfriend, named Jade. Jade and Tekashi seem to be deeply in love. They've been together for a good amount of time now. Unfortunately, most of that time, 6ix9ine has been behind bars, but that doesn't seem to ruin their love for each other. Jade has been Tekashi's only visitor. She recently visited him while he was serving his sentence. During the visit, Jade took a photo with Tekashi to show his fans that he's doing all right. Moments after she posted the picture on her Instagram, it went viral. It was the first image of Tekashi in a jumpsuit. He had freshly braided hair and clean white sneakers on. He seemed to be doing good for himself, according to sources. Tekashi has been working on himself a lot. He started to work out and take care of his body. Also, he's been reading and trying as hard as he can to become a better man, despite all the mistakes he's made. Not to mention, Tekashi has not only been working on creating a new him, but also a new style to his music. Tekashi hasn't been a lyrical artist and he wants to change that, especially with all this serious stuff going on in his life. He feels he has a lot to let out and creating music is his greatest escape. Music played a big role in his life. It literally took him from rags to riches and taught him what fame is all about. It showed him a different perspective of life, and that meant a lot to Tekashi. Considering the meaning of his name, Tekashi 6ix9ine having a lot to do with that. He explained in many interviews how the 69 in his name means that a person should always see life from 2 different perspectives. In his lyrical Lemonade interview, he gets deep into the true meaning using a real-life example, saying, "If I drew a 6 on the ground and you were across from me looking at it, it would look like a 9. Tekashi was explaining that a person should never be too quick to judge another, especially if you haven't seen the other person's perspective of life. He also proved his point by using his 6ix9ine hand tattoo as an example. No matter how he held his hands next to each other, they always read 6ix9ine. This shows a lot about Tekashi 6ix9ine as a person. Yes, as consumers of the media, all we have seen is the funny, reckless side of Tekashi, but maybe deep down he's different. Maybe this huge mistake will change him for the better. They do say everything happens for a reason. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with the case of Tekashi 6ix9ine. What do you think will happen? Will his honesty help him be released from prison sooner? Or is Tekashi 6ix9ine looking at a very long time in prison? Let us know in the section below, and remember to leave a like, subscribe, and comment keyword GUILTY to win our $100 Amazon gift card giveaway. Be sure to hit that notification bell to be the first to view what future content we have in store for you.
1,000 people skin. You know what I'm saying? And that's just me saying, I'm Tekashi 6ix9ine, you know what I'm saying? Like, f this kid, you know what I'm saying?
Music, I'm just so proud of you and so happy for you. How did your career come about? How did this?
Are you upset with your crew though because of that shooting? Like now you can't perform there at the Barclays Center?
That's not true. Let's go. He can still perform at the Barclays.
What's going on with you and Bad Baby?
To begin with, I'm not a lyrical artist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a person that be like, yeah, I got mad balls. Like I'm talented. No, I just got it. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate people.
So 6ix9ine is more of a symbol, saying like, me, my man's William Asher.
How did this all start?
To be honest, I started a while back. It's just I done had the New York air. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had a
Danielle Bergoli, she's been saying a lot of stuff about you lately. You got any response to her?
That's the Lil Tay girl, right?
No, that's the